everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Pardes Diaries. I am Khadija Munawwar, your host for today. And today we have with us Momal Saman, who went on a UGRAD program. We're very happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, Khadija. I am really happy to be here, and I would love to, talk about my experience.
Right. So before we delve into the question and the interviews, I would just want you to give some context as to what the UGRAD program is for all those who don't know.
Yeah, sure. So UGRAD is basically a cultural exchange program, and it's for students in their undergraduate. It's like a one-semester thing in which you have to be a Pakistani national, and then you're studying in your undergraduate, most probably your second year or third year in university, and then you can, apply. और आप एक semester के लिए US जाते हैं. It's a fully funded program. Your meals are covered. Your, everything is covered. Your travel is covered. Your accommodation is covered. And
Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of the people. So I think when you heard of the program, why did you want to apply for it? And then how long ahead did you start to plan for it as well?
Okay. I started way before, I think itna nerd nahi hona chahiye, you started applying so long ago, but I started in my freshman year.
That's dedication.
Yeah. I went in my senior year and I started applying in my freshman year. So what I did was this is something, if you are interested in applying, so you should know since it's a cultural exchange thing, you don't have to only focus on your academics. Yes, you need to have a good GPA, but uske saath you must have good extracurriculars, some experience with NGOs, or generally a community leader. So मैंने freshman में शुरू किया था. I started working with different NGOs. I was in a lot of societies, or generally I loved working with community organizations.
Right.
Or academics where I had a balanced focus. So in my sophomore year I applied, and you have to wait 1 year or kabhi kabhi usse zyada bhi before you go, because it's really random placements.
Right.
It's on them where they place you, and it's on them when they place you.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned you need to be a very well-rounded student.
Yes.
So how would you kitna time hai when you feel कि अच्छा बहुत late हो गया to start? Because I know a lot of people in OA levels, they don't join NGOs, or they're not a part of extracurriculars. So अगर वो maybe they're in sophomore year और उनको लग रहा है कि अच्छा मैंने apply करने हैं, late तो नहीं होगा. So what do you think they should do?
Okay, when you're applying now with this program, I would always say don't think that you're late at any point, unless ek din pehle aap baithe ho, or you're like, okay, now I have to apply. But as soon as you just find out about it, pehli baat to you should be proactive.
Right.
Or you should know when the application deadlines are, what documents are required, because it's a very rigorous process. So
Right.
बहुत documents submit karane padte hain. But as far as your application is concerned, try working on it एक semester पहले से शुरू कर लो. Just be a part of a plantation drive या इस तरह की चीज़ें. Even if you're doing minimal ना, the way you're presenting yourself, that is what matters.
Of course. So was it a very competitive program? You mentioned, of course, अगर वो fully funded है, so of course there's some selectivity to it.
So this is how it works. A lot of people apply, around 20,000 people apply every year, and only 100 people get selected, and then they go, because it's fully funded. So they can't take everyone. So it's competitive in a sense that they're trying to find people who are bringing diversity, culture, and who will be a great addition to the Pakistan-US alumni family.
Right.
So yes, it is competitive.
So is there a quota कि पाकिस्तान से सिर्फ इतने लोग हो सकते हैं, और मतलब हर country से?
So global UGRAD to it, that works across the world in every country. But what I have learned through my experience is that बाकी countries से it's only 2 to 3 people are coming every year. But from Pakistan, it's a lot. It's around 100. Just I told you the number, 100, 150 people. So it's
because our parents are make us hard work from
definitely
young age. So I guess a lot of people would want to know कि application process कैसा होता है, आपको क्या requirements होती हैं GPA की, or कोई recommendations चाहिए होती हैं, interview होता है, all these things. So how is that like?
Recommendations, of course, you need them. You have to ask your professors who you are on good terms with, if they have taught you once or twice.
Right.
Ask them to write a general recommendation letter for the program. Uske alawa, can I repeat the question?
Interview होता है कोई?
Yes.
Okay.
There is an interview. So this is how the stages work. First, you apply through the application process. Once you're done with it, 2-3 महीने तो they're not gonna call you or even reply to
Anxiety,
anything. Yes, you just wait.
Yeah.
After like 3 months, they reach out to you if you have come to the interview phase.
Right.
फिर आपका interview होता है. Like COVID में they changed it to online interviews, but like पहले they used to have like in-person interviews. और उसमें there are people from Pakistan embassy and then there are people from US embassy, and then there's this one person who's a psychologist just to
That's
to check
scary.
like are you okay to go.
Oh my god, that's so scary.
So mine went really well. I was like very overly enthusiastic, and like they had done so many interviews that day, and they were like kind of tired, and they were like, okay, Momal, like we're gonna. I was like, that's it. You don't want to ask me more? Ask me something else.
Yeah.
So the interview happens. Interview के time पर like a lot of people are shortlisted.
Right.
फिर उसके बाद they sift it. और फिर फाइनल आपका सिलेक्शन होता है and you become a candidate.
और वो कितनी देर बाद आपको पता चलता है इंटरव्यू में?
After like a month.
Okay.
Yes.
Very rigorous for like progress.
Yes.
But did you apply independently? Because obviously UGRAD external program and normal exchange program की तरह नहीं है. तो does the institution help या फिर आपको खुद सारा करना पड़ा?
Okay. So institution does not help. Like LAMS का कोई रोल नहीं होता इसमें. हाँ नहीं होता. I was just making sure. So what happens is कि it's an independent program and you apply on your own. Everything is being done independently. Even like when you get your semester fees, मतलब यहाँ पे करवाते हो,
Yeah.
you're not telling them that you're going semester exchange. You tell them that you're going as a student visitor. So LUMS does not really have anything to do with it. But yeah, it's an independent program.
But like professors वगैरह को reach out to like can you take help from maybe seniors?
For the application?
Yeah.
Definitely. Like this year, since I'm an alumni, now Pakistan US Alumni Network, I'm a part of that. So I helped a lot of juniors. Like I offered consultancy sessions.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I offered it to like people who were, interested in applying this year. So I helped them through the application process. And now if inshallah they get selected, they can, reach out for the interview thing as well.
That's amazing. So it's easy to get information.
Yes, definitely. यहाँ पर there is a community of, UGRAD people, so like they help.
Achha, so talking about the community, how was it like when you went over there? Did you face any culture shocks? How was the experience?
If I'm being very honest, जाते हुए नहीं हुआ था, वापस आके बहुत first culture shock बहुत गंदा हुआ था. But I think generally it was nice. Right. If I have to give one word, it was like exciting. Like every day something new was happening. It was like, this crazy fun-filled experience. So मेरा बहुत अच्छा था.
And fulfilled your expectations?
I think it went beyond. And
nice.
The best part I would say is surprisingly I had the best host parents ever.
That's
like,
nice.
Yeah, they were like amazing people. वो मेरा बहुत अच्छा experience था.
So how is that process? Like कोई कौन choose करता है या फिर when like how early do you get the information about those people?
So it depends like where you are going. So it depends on the city you are going to or like the state you are going to. So कई दफ़ा ये होता है कि originally मेरे कोई host parents नहीं थे. So like some people were getting host families. So how it works is कि हम लोग गए थे, we went in August.
Right.
And normal semester starts in September.
Yeah.
So we were there in US for like 1 month extra. So what happened was कि like a lot of students got families to live with in the first month. And then they started like their dorm life.
Okay.
So that's how it works. But for me, I didn't have like a family to live with. I was living in my apartment, but there were like some random families who opted to take me out for dinner or like just make me feel at home since like
That's really nice.
So yeah. So that's how my host families became. They were like not appointed, but like I don't know. It just the vibe match हो गई. इतना मजा आया उनके साथ, and it was like really nice.
Are you still in contact with them?
Yes, all of them. And it's like so good. They're like, when you get married, you have to invite us. And I'm like, so definitely. Yes, and like, it's just I know that there is this another world where there are people who love me, and it's a very nice feeling. So,
अच्छा उसी topic पे, a lot of people have concerns कि आप किसी और country में जाते हो तो how is the diversity like? So how is that?
Diversity, I would say कि you, especially with this program, I actually got to meet a lot of like, दूसरे cultures के लोग. So I made this friend from Egypt, and we are like still in touch and like we're really close. So that happened. Uske alawa, you get exposed to American culture so much. You start living there. You just have this whole new life वहाँ पर because you're gone for like 5 months. It's like a long time. though it's a fine time. So
Want it to be longer?
yeah, I mean, you know, when we were coming back, we're like, please, ye kuch wo ho jaye, flight cancel ho jaye, kuch ho jaye, we don't have to come back. So yeah, I mean, it was good.
Yeah. So, of course, I imagine the experience was really, really nice and you wanted to stay longer as well.
Yes.
So, I saw that you get to, you know, go to the UN headquarters. You got to meet the mayor of Portland as well.
Yeah.
So, how is that? Like, is it something you do independently? Just आगे जिसने आपने पहले से freshman year से preparation शुरू कर ली थी या फिर does everybody get to go?
Acha, okay, a short answer is no, not everyone gets to go.
So, you worked hard for it.
Yeah, so, acha, UN ka ye hai ki, like, I've been crazy to work with UN, way before, like, bahut bachpan mein, when I was 12, you know, and you were like, oh, I want to work with UN, wo wali cheez thi.
Yeah.
So, when I went to New York, I had a friend, she was working as a Pakistani, you know, representative in UN headquarters. So, I got in touch with her through LinkedIn, and then we planned a tour. So, I booked a tour, and, like, that was amazing. And I think I got lucky because the tour went really nice. And then I also got a chance to be featured in an interview that was happening. Yes, I was a part of a UN documentary as well.
That's so cool. Do you know the name of the document?
So what happened was that my tour, I got really lucky with that. So us waqt, you know, if you remember that there were like floods ka jo issue chal raha tha Pakistan mein. So since I was there, my friend was there, she was a Pakistani as well. So we both had this chat, and then I was a part of this documentary thing, and we talked about, like, you know, the crisis that Pakistan is facing. And that was actually a very big experience for me because then, you know, United States, jo Education Foundation Pakistan, they, you know, featured me on their page as well.
That's really,
you know, like this student, our candidate right now in New York, she talked about Pakistani situation.
Yeah.
So वो एक बहुत अच्छी चीज़ हुई थी. About the mayor, so what happened was that UGRAD में there are certain criteria that you have to, like, you know, meet after you are there.
Okay.
So you have to, like, fulfill some criteria for digital passport.
Okay.
अब digital passport में ये होता है कि you have to, like, you have to send a few pictures to them. One picture is with you, with your host family. One picture is you at a, let's say, farmer's market. Local vendors se baat karni hai. How does the American, you know, agriculture work or something like that. I went to so many farmers market things because all my host friends were so old. Yeah. It used to take me, like, almost every day. At one point, I was like, yeah, bus was farmers market. Yeah. So that happened.
So you had many pictures to share.
Yeah, I had a lot of pictures because the mayor thing, I got lucky because my jo host dad the, he was a part of the council of the city.
Right.
वो mayor के friend थे.
Oh, wow.
So he invited me to this, like, city meeting.
Yeah.
And that was, like, so cool. That was, like, first time.
Connection.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that was, like, amazing. So I gave the mayor a gift as well. Like, I had taken some souvenirs from Pakistan.
Yeah.
So I just gave him that. And then, yeah, that's how I met the mayor.
So I think it's very, very cool that you went beyond just the program to, you know, opt for other opportunities that you could get over there. So I think for anybody who is applying, you could always look out for where you're going, maybe look at other opportunities you can, you know, sort of take advantage of. But was the program limited to just one area, or did you get to travel as well? Because, you know, like other places like Florida, DC.
Okay. So yes, I did go to Florida and DC. How this works is that your program is limited to that one place.
Yeah.
However, the stipend that you're getting, if you are, like, you know, good with managing budget, you can travel everywhere.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm not even kidding कि वो बहुत अच्छा किस्म का आपको stipend देते हैं. So originally मेरा plan आगे भी travel करने का था. I was planning to go to LA and Vegas as well, but like वो cancel हो गया because I got very sick after Florida. So DC का ये है कि UGRAD program को जो लोग manage कर रहे हैं उनका headquarters is in Washington DC.
Right.
So our first flight from Pakistan was to DC.
Okay, directly there.
Yes. So we went to DC for 3 days. We had our welcome workshop. They gave us all the folders and, like, you know, the stuff, the important stuff, like you know, health insurance and stuff like that. और उसके बाद we went to our universities and, like, our states. और फिर वापसी पर भी, like, when we were about to be done with the program, we had this re-entry workshop. And we came back to Washington DC. वहाँ पर we went to White House.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We went to White
More
House.
things. Yeah, that's very nice.
बहुत फिर scene था. And, like, we went to Capitol Hill or this Smithsonian African American Museum as well. So, like, it was really, you know, academically rigorous as well. And I really enjoyed those 3 days in Washington DC.
And so, like, this 8 days is a cultural experience beyond just academics as well.
Yes, it definitely is, because we had this cultural night जहाँ पर we were all wearing our own, like, Pakistani attires and like all the jewelry. और इसके अलावा I had to present. So like as I told you about the digital passport thing,
Yeah.
you have to, like, present your you have to give a presentation on Pakistan to a bunch of like students.
So that's also mandatory?
Yes, that's
Okay.
mandatory. You have to do that.
Okay.
So I gave it on Pakistani shadi culture. Because, people were so surprised, like, they
Yeah.
had never seen this tarah ki shadiyan.
Itna extra, okay.
I swear, like, they were, like, looking, मैंने projector पे लगाए हुए थे, मेहंदी dances लगाए हुए थे and stuff,
Yeah.
and they were like, wow, is this like a wedding, or like, what is happening here? It looks like a palace or
Yeah.
something. So, that was something. I brought them some snacks, like, stuff like chili mili vagera, so like they don't have.
That is important. That's a
Yes.
cultured experience.
The-
I love chili mili.
Yeah, so I took that with me from Pakistan, and I had these, jhumke type souvenirs. I gave it to students.
Yeah.
So
That's very cute. Did you also receive something from different cultures as well?
so my host parents gave me a lot of gifts.
Yeah.
When I was coming back.
So a lot of souvenirs to bring back just to
Yes.
remind you of the place. So how far, because obviously I think a lot of people are concerned with कि transport किस तरह की होती है, housing किस तरह की होती है. So how far was your like host families, wherever you were living from your university?
Okay, so how it works is कि अब हर जगह का different है. Since I was in New York,
Yeah.
so I was not in the New York City. Just to
Okay.
clarify, I was in New York State.
Yeah.
So वहाँ पर what happened was कि my university, like the university campus was different, and the accommodation was off campus.
Right.
So there was a bus that used to, commute. और उसके through, like, I used to go to campus. But जो मेरे host parents थे, they used to live a little far, but like वो हमेशा आ जाते थे to pick me. And, like,
That's so cute.
yeah, and like one time I was like feeling very homesick. So one of my host dads, like, he really loved traveling. So
Yeah.
he knew how to make Indian food. So he, like, invited me over to his
Yeah.
place, like the whole family. And there was, like, they hosted me for dinner.
Yeah.
Like, so they were like really sweet. I
That's
think
nice.
I've not met people like that pehle.
That is really nice.
Yeah,
बहुत
they were
inclusive,
really nice.
बहुत comfortable. So apart from that, how was the food like? मतलब of course you got to experience this, but वैसे because लोग जाते हैं
Oh.
कभी-कभी नहीं अच्छा लगता.
It was so bad. It was so bad. I even remember this distinctly कि हमारी so UGRAD में एक और चीज होती है कि even though you're getting enough stipend,
Yeah.
आपका जो वो है mess, उसका like like the dining halls,
Yeah.
उसका paid होता है already. So you just
Okay.
swipe the card and like
So you
endless
don't have to
meals.
spend money वैसे on
Yeah, you don't have to. But like the food there,
It's not good.
then you have to.
I get you.
Yeah, it was so bad. Like there was this cheese pizza रोज बनता था, and like I clearly remember कि when the whole program was ending now,
Yeah.
so when we were in Washington DC towards the end of our like the whole program,
Yeah.
someone asked us कि अच्छा how many of you are gonna eat cheese pizza when you go back to Pakistan? We were like, never.
Traumatized, never
So
again.
traumatized, like यार वो इतना I don't know, like their cuisine is something.
Yeah.
They're
We're used to like
happy with it.
spicy food, तो मतलब हमारे लिए it's
And I think it's like, I shouldn't be saying it in an interview, but I feel like it's not healthy. Like their diet is like very high in carbs and
Yeah.
very high in sugars.
yeah,
So
of course. You have to worry about that as well.
मेरी health काफी बार deteriorate हुई थी. This happened like physical. Not only me, like a lot of us we faced कि like एक तो you don't have access to like your food as
Yeah.
such, and you can't really cook it every day because you are
course.
sharing the space with other people as well.
Yeah.
So
So it is.
Yes.
You have to care about that. Considering all of that, I think what is your takeaway from this entire program? Like,
one thing I forgot to mention is when you asked about diversity, like although I focused on a lot of good things because generally 95% the whole program was
Yeah.
really good. But one thing I would say is that when you're actually through the thing, it's not a fairy tale that you're living. One thing I remember from my experience was like my housemates. I was in an apartment with
Yeah.
3 other girls. And that experience was not really good. So, that also happens. You might not, vibe with people you are living with, but then you have to,
set
adjust
boundaries as well.
and set boundaries.
Yeah.
So, keep in mind that problems bhi aayenge.
Yeah.
But on the whole, it's worth a shot.
I think it's only natural, but what's important is that you know how to deal with them
Yes,
and you learn from them.
definitely.
So for anybody who's wanting to apply, maybe that's something to look out for. But if you could redo it all, the entire experience, what would you do differently?
You caught me off guard there.
Or would you just not, like, was it perfect?
No, it was not perfect. Actually, Hadija, I would say that this really gave me a chance to reflect on myself.
Yeah.
I would say that the person who I was before going and now is like very different, because traveling makes you realize a lot of things.
Yeah.
Makes you so independent, and like, you understand a lot of different nuances of life. So I think I would be a little less sensitive to this something and be more open to new experiences. Yeah. That is something I would like to change.
I think you learn responsibility as well. यहाँ पे तो of course ज़्यादा sheltered life होती है जब खुद रहना पड़े, खुद responsibility लेनी पड़े. So I think definitely there's a lot of character development.
But like something weird is that I don't know why my brain was wired in this way, that it's very safe there. I don't know, like I never thought about consequences of like, but I'll travel and like रात के 2 भी बज जाएं, I'll be traveling and easy scene है. Me and my friends were like doing all those crazy things and we never like that I would never do in Pakistan.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so that is something.
I think for anybody who's applying, what is something that they should keep in mind when they are applying, or if they have already applied?
If they are applying, so don't think that just because you have a lower GPA, you should not, apply. Or like, this is something I've noticed in a lot of people, कि उनके credentials थोड़े से कम होंगे and they'll be like, यार नहीं, मेरा तो होगा नहीं, मैं क्यों apply करूँ? Never have that. Like, for generally any exchange program or any opportunity, just go for it. Because you never know if you get selected or not. बहुत exceptional लोग हैं, they don't get selected. And then there are people who you look at and like, oh, how did they get selected?
So it doesn't hurt to apply, take your chances.
For people who have already applied, be patient. And if you don't get selected in the first attempt, definitely apply in the second time. If you have that opportunity. क्योंकि एक barrier आ जाता है. You can't apply in your senior year.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to apply at a certain time कि जब आप उस program से होके वापस आ गए हो, you still have 1 semester or like a whole year ahead of you in your home university.
Right. अच्छा तो accordingly plan करना.
Yes.
अच्छा, considering all of this, academic concerns that people have, वहाँ पे जाके how is the academic like, environment like in comparison to LUMS especially?
I think when you're going from LUMS, let's be specific. If you're going from LUMS, it's not hard because education is not very stimulating in public universities, especially in US. That's something I felt because my major is political science और वहाँ पर भी international relations था. So I just felt like that the courses were very easy. But I took this one course that was French. And I was like really hard. Really, really hard.
Do you remember it still?
No, don't ask me to say anything. I've literally forgotten everything. So, French was very hard.
But other than that, people should not worry so much about it.
Yeah, no, don't. As long as you're, having a good balance of, you're giving it a few hours of studying and then you're just, traveling and having fun, I think you're good to go.
With that, I hope this was a very helpful episode for everybody and that you got to learn how to apply for the UGRAD program, what the specifics are like. Thank you so much for sharing all this information with us. I think it was very nuanced and very nice to hear.
Thank you so much. I loved being here and I loved, talking about my experience. It just brought back all the memories.
This has been the 3rd episode of Pardes Diaries. Thank you for watching.